I just finished watching UFC Fight Night in Abu Dhabi. Let's go over the main card and the fights and what happened. Firstly, we got Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner. Really good knockout for Joel Alvarez. I'm looking forward to see what this guy's potential is at 155. And while we're at it, how the fuck does this dude make 155? He's like absolutely massive. I'm really interested in seeing how he's going to go against dudes like that are in the top 15 for sure. Really good knees from the clinch, really creative, and on top of that, he was working good angles with it as well. Good for him. I want to see what he does in the future. Next up, we got Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez. Mackenzie Dern looks fucking huge, bro. She looks like a fucking monster. Like, Jesus. I mean, I know the MMA fans like to talk about them jiggle physics for sure, and I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely observed them myself. But on fight night, she just looks like a fucking tank, bro. She's just like walking down her opponents. She has a clear strength advantage over most of the people she fights. And she had pretty good boxing this time as well. So it looks like she's making some good technical improvements in her game, and I'm also looking to see what she does. I'm also looking to see how she's doing in the future. Next up, we got somebody who neither of these guys I really want to see them in the future. I think both of them are fucking at the tail end of their career. Michael Chiesa versus Tony Ferguson. Michael Chiesa submitted Tony Ferguson with a rear naked choke in round 1. Just fucking... You ever have a fight that you watch and you're not even like animated about it or anything? You're kind of just like sitting there just like with the feeling of angst. You're sitting here with kind of just like that lump in your throat. You're just like, damn, this is hard to watch. That's how I felt watching Tony Ferguson get pieced up by Michael Chiesa. I mean, he definitely... I could say what millions of people have said before me. He clearly just looks like a shell of himself. I'm not even talking about Michael Chiesa. I'm talking about Tony Ferguson because it's more about how sad he looked. It's crazy that this dude was seriously at the top of his division and the interim lightweight champion, man. And it really is sad, and it really definitely shows how cruel the MMA game is. Good for Michael Chiesa. He's been trying to get in a win. I mean, he hasn't had it easy for these past few fights. So he definitely looked very happy as well after submitting Ferguson. I bet he's just definitely just enjoying some time with his family and just celebrating the fucking fruits of his labor. I rip for Tony Ferguson, bro. The one glove in the cage, one glove I'm taking with me. Such a Tony Ferguson thing to do, but also just so fucking sad, bro. Seriously. Next up, we got Marlon Vera, Chito Vera versus Davison Figueredo. Really good fight. Pretty technical for sure. I'm very surprised that Figueredo was able to knock down Chito Vera. That third round was a really good round for sure. Definitely saw these guys going back and forth at it. I noticed Chito Vera was using body shots a lot more. I'm guessing it's because he remembered hurting O'Malley with it, so now he's trying to kind of employ that in his game. Good for him. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to stack up against Figueredo, who is now on a 3-fight win streak in bantamweight. I believe he's like number 3 or number 4 ranked in the bantamweight division. So he's looking to get his title shot. Good for him, man. If I'm being brutally honest, I don't really see him doing too well in an actual title picture. He looked like he was getting pretty gassed against Chito Vera. He looked like his cardio was kind of failing on him. I think if he takes shots from like hard hitters like O'Malley, I think that could definitely fuck him up pretty bad. I mean, good for him, man. Seriously, I don't want to take anything away from him. He had a really good fight. He knocked down the dude that's like notorious for having an iron fucking skull. It's just, if I'm being honest, I do believe it's kind of hard to see how he could have success against these other bantamweights when he has problems with his cardio. The fight was only 3 rounds and he was getting gassed. And on top of that, he was taking some shots from Marlon Vera. And I get it, Marlon Vera has some decent power. But I mean, going against these other dudes, man, it's definitely going to be a problem. He's 24-3 though. That is very good. That's a really good fucking record. You have to give it to him for sure. Next up, we got Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Michael Olichanchik, if that's how you fucking pronounce his last name. Pretty interesting fight to say for sure. Shara Magomedov definitely has a unique style in the UFC. I think he has some holes that he could definitely fix though for sure. first and foremost being his fucking boxing. Obviously, his kicks are the strongest aspect of his game. He's a pretty skilled kickboxer, and he had some good elbows and knees as well in the clinch. He had some good diversity, but damn, that boxing was just a fucking hole. And I think if Michael was just able to like kind of exploit it a bit more, he definitely could have gotten the finish. I think it was a left hand, I believe. I think he was like almost landing several left hands on Magomedov. I think if he had just like stepped forward a bit more, would have landed clean, would have hurt him pretty bad. I can't believe they didn't count it as a knockdown, but I believe he did knock down Magomedov in the first round as well. Ultimately, I do believe he has good boxing. He has fairly decent wrestling as well. Probably just needs to polish it up a bit more. And for Magomedov, I mean, he has a lot of potential for sure. He's 14-0 now. He has a lot of tools in his game that make him a unique threat. I think he should definitely work on, obviously, his wrestling defense, but a less obvious thing is his boxing defense, or maybe his boxing offense as well. I noticed he wasn't throwing too many punching combinations. But good win for him. I'm also interested in seeing how he does against future competition. Last up, we got the main event. I'm fucking sad, bro. See, you remember what I just said about the Tony Ferguson fight, where you watch certain fights and you just like kind of have like that fucking sad feeling in your throat, where you're just like, fuck. That's kind of how I felt with the latter half of this fight, and which I will say, Sandhagen did so fucking good in the first round, dude. Seriously, I was like all hyped up when I saw him scrambling in the exchanges. When I saw him, when he was like using his footwork and stuff. His footwork looked fucking great. I definitely have to say that working with Trevor Whitman has improved that aspect of his game pretty well. But enough with the glaze. I'm going to talk about the guy who won, Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar had pretty good boxing. I have to give him credit for that. I mean, we were definitely looking into it. We definitely figured he was going to have the wrestling advantage over Sandhagen, but something that surprised me was that on the stats here, he outlanded Sandhagen. And if you see in the fight, he was definitely landing some good combinations through Corey's guard as well. He was landing some straight shots. Corey was trying to land that left hook on Umar, and Umar was countering him with straight shots over that. So good for him, man. Good fight IQ on his part. It's pretty cool. I mean, Umar has shown an ability to be able to counter people while moving backwards, which I have to say is definitely a useful thing to have. That's kind of what one of O'Malley's biggest tools is that he's able to counter people moving backwards. Biggest example of this would be the Aljo fight. Umar, while he obviously doesn't have the pop that O'Malley has, he was able to land some good shots while he was on the back foot, while he was on the defensive. And yeah, I mean, it was good on his part, man. Umar, look, bro, Umar was fucking number 10 going into this, alright? And he literally just proved himself against a dude that was in the top 5. So, give the man his fucking flowers. He's 18-0 now. He's going to be next up to fight for the bantamweight title. I'm really interested in seeing how he stacks up against somebody like O'Malley or Merab, depending on who wins. But, I mean, the sky's the limit for this dude, man. I believe he's like still in his mid-20s. He still has a lot of time to grow. And good for him, man, seriously. Like I said, the grappling exchanges were what really surprised me, dude. Sandhagen's tactical awareness was very, very much on point, I have to say. From just him being aware enough to like move to defense anytime he was in trouble, to where like he would just automatically roll anytime Umar took his back. Just good on him. I do believe that ultimately him like trying to threaten too much with the submissions in round 5 was what led to him losing that round, because Umar was able to get control on him on top, and that was the only time Umar was actually able to get control on him. I mean consistent control on him, because Sandhagen just kept on getting back. He kept getting back up, which was pretty fucking impressive. But good fight, man. Good fight. It was a technical fucking masterclass. I have to give credit to both fighters. Sandhagen looked the best he's ever looked. Even though he fucking lost, he definitely, I think his values definitely may have risen in the eyes of many other people. I mean, last time he lost a fight against Dillashaw, he was still able to get a title, an interim title fight against Jan. He's still looking pretty good. He's in his prime right now, so who knows what's next for him. As for Umar, I mean, it's an obvious title shot, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna go on with that. It's probably gonna be like, I don't think it's gonna be in 2024. It's probably gonna be like early 2025, probably. Just GG, bro. GG.